Dirayat Nastapareshu Padreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhakti Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhagavati Naishtati. So this is verse 16 today, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 2. Questions by King Parikshit, Chapter 8, verse 16. Pramanam Andakoshaya Bhaya Abhyantara Vedata Mahatam Cha Anucharitam Varna Ashrama Vinischaya Pramanam Andakoshaya Bhayabhyantara Vedata Mahatam Chanucharitam Varnashrama Vinischaya Pramanam Andakoshaya Bhayabhyantara Vedata Mahatam Chanucharitam Varnashrama Vinischaya Pramanam Andakoshaya Bhayabhyantara Vedata Mahatam Chanucharitam Varnashrama Vinischaya.
Paranam Annakoshasya Pramanam Annakoshasya Bhayabhyantara Vedataha Mahatam Anukaritam Mahatam Chankaritam Varnashrama Vinishchaya Varnashrama Vinishchaya Pramanam Annakoshasya Bhayabhyantara Vedataha
Pramananam. Extent and measurement. Andakoshasya of the universe. Bhaya, outer space. Abhyantara, inner space. Vedata, by division of. Mahatam, of the great souls. Cha, also. Anucharitam, character and activities. Varna, castes. Ashrama, orders of life. Vinischaya, specifically describe. Translation. Also, please describe the inner and outer space of the universe by specific divisions, as well as the character and activities of the great souls, and also the characteristics of the different classifications of the caste and orders of social life. Please repeat. Also, please describe. The inner and outer space of the universe. By specific divisions. As well as the character and activities of the great souls. And also the characteristics of the different classifications. Of the castes and orders of social life. Purport by His Divine Grace, ISKCON Bhaktivedanta Book Trust, Founder Acharya, Savior of the whole universe, Savior of the most fallen, Jagat Guru, Patita Pavana, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Maharaj Parikshit is a typical devotee of Lord Krishna. And as such, he was anxious to know the complete significance of the creation of the Lord. He wants to know the inner and outer space of the universal form. It is quite fitting for the real searcher of knowledge to know all about this. Those who are of the opinion that the devotees of the Lord are satisfied with mere sentiments can find in the inquiries of Maharaj Parikshit good lessons as to how inquisitive a pure devotee is to know things in their true perfection. The modern scientist is unable to know about the inner space of the universal horizon, and what to speak of the space which covers the universe. Maharaj Parikshit is not satisfied with only material knowledge. He is inquisitive about the character and activities of the great souls, the devotees of the Lord. The glories of the Lord and the glories of His devotees combined together comprise the complete knowledge of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Lord Krishna showed His mother the complete universal creation within His mouth, while she, completely charmed by her son, wanted to look inside the mouth of the Lord just to see how much earth the child had eaten. By the grace of the Lord, the devotees are able to see everything in the universe within the mouth of the Lord. The very idea of the scientific divisions of 4 classes of human society and 4 orders of life is also inquired about herewith on the basis of individual personal quality. The 4 divisions are exactly like the 4 divisions of one's personal body. The parts and parcels of the body are non-different from the body, but by themselves, they are only parts. That is the significance of the whole scientific system of 4 castes and 4 social orders. The value of such scientific divisions of human society can be ascertained only in terms of the proportionate development of devotional service to the Lord. Any person employed in government service, including the president, is a part and parcel of the entire government. Everyone is a government servant, but no one is the government himself. That is the position of all living entities in the government of the Supreme Lord. No one can artificially claim the supreme position of the Lord. but everyone is meant to serve the purpose of the Supreme Whole. Om Jnanatimrandasya Jananjana Shlakaya Chakshurmidam Nena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Nastapidam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupagadhamayam Didati Svapadantikam Mandayam Shri Guru Shri Vadapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Scha Shri Rupam Saguratam Sagana Raganatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakamitam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Ninamando Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Jayatam Surato Pangur Mama Madamater Gati Matsarvasva Padambojo Radha Madana Mohano Divyad Brindivanya Kalpajumada Śrīmad-Ratna Gara Sringasanasto Śrīmad Radha Shilagovinda Devo Prastalabhi Sevimano Smarami Śrīman Rasa Rasarambi Mamsi Bhattatatasti Taha Karshan Velu Sadar Gopir Gopinatha Striyestuna Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatrubhyascha Kripasandubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gora Bhakta Brinda Parama Karuna Pahudvijana Nitai Gora Chandra Sava Avatar Sarasaromani Kevala Ananda Kanda Namo Mahavadanaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gortvashe Namaha Krishna Varnam Titsa Krishnam Sango Pangastra Parshadam Yagnai Sankatana Prayer Yajantihi Sumeda Saha Kaler Dosa Nadeva Jan Hastieka Mahadgunai Kirtanadeva Krishna Sya Mukta Sangha Param Brajet Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Pramanam Mandakoshasya Bhayabhyantara Vedata Mahatam Chanucharitam Varnashrama Vinishjaya. Also, please describe the inner and outer space of the universe by specific divisions, as well as the character and activities of the great souls, and also the characteristics of the different classifications of the castes and orders of social life. So this is a very wonderful chapter. This chapter is the foundational, setting the stage for the rest of the entire Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Questions by Maharaj Parikshit. Shukadeva Goswami is hearing these questions and carefully remembering all of these points. He will answer all of these questions in quite elaborate detail all the way till the end of the 12th canto. Prabhupada begins his purport by praising Maharaj Parikshit, praising him, but also encouraging and instructing all of us to understand what is a devotee of Lord Krishna. And typical that pure devotees, they're very unique and individual, but the commonality, which is the essence of their very being, pure unalloyed devotion for Lord Krishna. Prabhupada uses the word typical. What's a dictionary definition of typical? Give me some synonyms. Prabhupada is taught and told and admonished.
Typical,
Yeah.
classical, quintessential, archetypal, model, prototypical, stereotypical, distinctive, distinguishing.
Very nice.
Peculiar, proper, individual.
All right, enough. Is it? I don't want to lose my train of thought. Yes, the commonality that the very threadbare raison d'etre for all devotees of the Lord is to please Lord Krishna. So, the material world is the opposite, because the conditioned soul, instead of being, it's described in the 11th canto, Krishna's servitor, decides to become Krishna's competitor, which automatically puts him in a position of fearfulness. His conception of life is reversed. Aparyo smriti. His memory is lost. And Maya means that which is not. So trying to become the Lord and Master, or as Prabhupada said, the Lord of all I survey. One time a devotee on a morning walk, Prabhupada, isn't this a beautiful mountain or beautiful scenery? Prabhupada said, we're not so much concerned with the beautiful mountain or the beautiful scenery, we're concerned with the person who created the beautiful mountain and the scenery. So Istadeva Sporti, the Mahabhagavat, he certainly sees everything mobile and immobile, but he doesn't exactly or only see their forms, because within everything and everyone, he sees their relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What is that verse in the seven, I believe? Maya itamidam sarva jagadavyakta mortina. What is it? Say the translation. 9:4, yeah, okay. But I was quoting, all truths are within me as pearls are strung upon a thread. It's in the 7th chapter. So, now, because the devotee, the very definition of a devotee, unalloyed devotee, is that they're completely in love with Krishna. What is in the Bhagavad Gita? Their heart and soul is completely submerged in Krishna. So, if the principle in the material world, which everyone's always looking for political advantage, that the enemy of my enemy automatically becomes my friend, right? So, this way, India, even still today, they look up to Adolf Hitler and the Nazi regime because they attacked Great Britain, our enemy, our subjugator, our conqueror. So they must be very good people. Of course, quite a mistake that is, They don't like Great Britain, but they didn't like so many other people, to the point of causing one of the greatest catastrophes and crime against humanity known in the history of mankind, and what to speak of the greatest crime against humanity in so-called recent modern times. So, that if there is a difference of opinion, that opinion should be taken as spiritual, in the sense that it is different opinions of how to serve Krishna. So, because it's not for personal sense gratification, it's like there's that saying, good neighbors make good fences. No, good fences make good neighbors, right? The bigger the fence, the better the relationship with the neighbor. How impersonal and just plain, like no rasa, just like, ugh. But the devotees always know that their argument or their difference of opinion or their anxiety is based on, or it should be, how to please Krishna, and that is ultimately the test in any contention or argument, because if it's not on that platform and it's for material desire, Prabhupada says in one place, this is in regard to Mohini Murti, understanding that Rahu disguised himself as a demigod to sit in the line to get the nectar distributed, and just just to show, this is quite amazing. Rahu drank the nectar, but before it could, right? Just think next time you drink water or liquid, then okay, it's coming in, but it doesn't, it's going down. But before it could go below his neck, Sudarshan Chakra off of your head, There are many materially motivated persons in the dress of devotees, but the Lord is expert to detect their purpose. All right? So we say, we're doing it for Krishna, we're doing it for Prabhupada, and then we don't like you, or we're doing it better, and whatever, or me first, not you, or whatever. Okay, all right, the external function is going on, and what you claim to be the topmost and highest and the best thing, which means that you have the right, or you are fully justified in your rationale to the others. All right, maybe you can go on for some time. But Krishna, if you're going to use the name of Krishna and use the facility of Krishna and claim it to be devotional service, then Krishna will demand absolute purity of purpose and motivation. So therefore, Prabhupada has said, your highest love for me will be shown how you cooperate together to keep this institution, which Prabhupada labored so hard to build, and was the desire of his spiritual master to form a organized society of devotees, and what to speak after his own attempt of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the Gaudiya Math, was overthrown by in-house bickering and fighting politics. Prabhupada said this movement cannot be destroyed from without. Can't be destroyed by the government, can't be destroyed by, the people with this plandemic and their vaccines and all of this nonsense. Can't be destroyed by nuclear bomb. But how can it be broken? From infighting within. So a typical devotee of the Lord is not like in Charlie Brown, I forget who was making Snoopy feel bad, as a beagle, to old dime a dozen. It's just a dime a dozen. What could you get for spend 10 cents and get a dozen? This is something probably like from 100 or more years ago, you get like, typical. Yeah. Or somebody's handing out, like somebody wants to do some nice charity at Rath Yatra, and they hand you an 8-ounce plastic bottle of water, they're giving them out to everybody, Okay, all right. Useful, it's hot, and I can take a drink of water, but when they start giving you 3, 4, 5, take more. I mean, I'm walking down the parade in Fifth Avenue, I'm gonna carry like 8 bottles of water. Put one in my ear, one can hang out of my nostril or something. But devotees are completely special, yet that commonality of their cooperative mood. And even there are devotees, you can read in Ujjvala Nilamani, which gives a complete description of the devotees in the Madhurya Ras. Some become bitter rivals, unable to tolerate each other's. They just become. But that competition, again, is for Krishna. And it doesn't come to the point of, just like in the material world, the worst it could come to is complete character defamation, or even worse, violence, murder. It's part of Leela. So we can't expect utopia that everyone will always, agree. We're talking on the ultimate level. So for what to speak of, like, we still have material desires and we still have material ambitions and motivations and we fight with each other, of course, that has to be worked out. But on the complete perfect platform that we disagree, it's because we're individuals. Otherwise, it would be impersonalism. So that accommodation of our unique personality that has a ultimate purpose to satisfy Krishna in a very unique way. Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. So he's not going to just take one or several type of enjoyment. He's going to take a mathematical number beyond anyone's calculation. Like how high do numbers go? They got like trillion, quadrillion, I don't know. So ananta, unlimited types of pleasure. So unity and diversity, diversity and unity. So that's a commentary on the first sentence of the purport. So, so as a typical devotee of Lord Krishna, and as such, he is anxious to know the complete significance of the creation of the Lord. He wants to know the inner and outer space of the universal form. It is quite fitting for the real searcher of knowledge to know all about this. So this is, the European British brought to India this humanism, the age of reason, and somebody look on Facebook and look up Narada Rishi. He put like this British guy from the 1800s, like on his Facebook profile. I want to read that. Narada Rishi, our god brother.
I don't have him as a friend, so I can't see his posts.
Oh, check.
I got him on my phone. Give me my phone. I'll do it. Okay, here we go. Uh-oh. Oh, look at this. Facebook has called this false information. Well, that's not too cool, but let's see how much I can. All right. He has traveled around India and seen her spiritual and cultural heritage, and therefore I propose, so he's speaking before the British Parliament in like 1820 or something. I propose that we replace her old and ancient education system, her culture, for if the Indians think that all that is foreign and English is good and greater than their own, they will lose their enthusiasm. Their native culture will become, and they'll become a subjugated nation. How could they say that this is false information? This is an historical speech, And see how bad it's getting, Just a week ago, I read are there cameras in here? And are there bugs and everything? So they try. Oh, the bhakti. Some are of the opinion that the devotees of the Lord are satisfied with mere sentiments. Why are you chanting and dancing in the company of fanatics and sentimentalists? Right? We even see that, like, sophisticated people are like, look down their nose at us. Their offering is the snot running out of their nose, you know. But here we can find in the inquiries of Maharaj Parikshit good lessons as to how inquisitive a pure devotee is to know things in their true perfection. Nothing escaped Prabhupada's vigilance or observation. So in our service, we should be very alert to details. Prabhupada came back to Vrindavan somewhat later in the year 1975. The temple was finally opened in April. And everyone has seen the Gornitai bookstall in the front. And I'm sure even more of us have seen and frequented the Mahaprasadam stall. Haribol! You ask a typical, what would you rather have, some nice Mahaprasadam or would you like a book? So that was just constructed, and they were showing Prabhupada, isn't this nice, this first class? And Prabhupada had this dissatisfied look on his face. He said, you say it is first class? I say it is 10th class. You brought me 5,000 miles, and he pointed his cane up to the ceiling to a bird's nest, very, dirty and unsightly, feathers and pigeon's bird's nest in the chandelier. Clean it immediately. The modern scientist is unable to know about the inner space of the universal horizon. Go to Mars or Venus or the moon. Look at the rocks that are on the moon, this barren wasteland. So what to speak of the space which covers the universe, beyond the coverings, the Mahatattva. How are they to know? Maharaj Parikshit is not satisfied with only material knowledge. He is inquisitive about the character and activities of the great souls. So this is very nice. You think that these are just like random questions, like, I think this, I'm asking that, I'm here, there, I'm all over the place. But actually, this is a very beautiful, contained sutra, because as a pure devotee, he understands that the Lord and the pure devotees, wherever they are, the facility manifested is simply and exclusively only for their pleasure and use. So the only reason, ultimately, for the existence in this material world is that the pure devotees who descend, who come down here to serve the Lord's mission, all of this facility, everything manifested, is simply meant for them to use in an offering of devotional love to the most worshipful Lord. That's the only reason for the existence of this planet. What does it say in one place? That except for, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, except for the Lord, the devotees, devotional service, and the devotional scriptures, there's no meaning whatsoever to this world. We should realize this. We should cultivate the awareness of this, and this will give us tremendous, unrelenting, ever-increasing faith to preach this message and realize that anything short of this is just simply worse than a waste of time, but as Prabhupada said, risky committing suicide. Those who are performing some type of pious activity, they'll take birth again. They're very, see in India today, all the rules, take care of guests and strict observance of Grihastha ashram. Prabhupada said they can rest assured that they will take birth again in human society or go to the heavenly planets. But where no information of how to do the difference between right and wrong, and people are acting completely with their mind out of their mind, literally out of control mind. It's in the spiritual yoga book, Lord Rishabdev, his teachings, very, as long as karmatmaka, the mind is Similarly, Judd Bart to Marge Verhoeven, the uncontrolled mind is the greatest enemy of the conditioned soul. Although it is not factual, it covers the constitutional position. If one neglects the mind and gives it a chance, it will become more and more strong and emerge victorious. Conquer the uncontrolled mind with the weapon of service to the spiritual master. Do this with great care. So, he wants to know about the character and activities of the great souls. I don't know who are the great souls, the Mahatmas. Is Mahatma Gandhi? He's 76 years old. I saw like some black and white movie footage, and he has like these young women on either side attending him. This is a sannyasi in the renounced order of life. This is a Mahatma. Prabhupada immediately, the character and activities of the great souls, comma, the devotees of the Lord. That is a Mahatma. The glories of the Lord and the glories of his devotees combined together comprise the complete knowledge of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And, as we were in our own faulty or childlike words trying to say, now it's saying the same thing. The glories of the Lord and the glories of his devotees combined together comprise the complete knowledge of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which, Prabhupada said, the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam comprises complete knowledge of everything. And then Prabhupada goes on to describe the most charming yet powerful description of vision of the universal form in the mouth of Lord Krishna to Mother Yashoda, which is chapter 7, just before the chapter 8, Mother Yashoda binds Lord Krishna in the 10th canto. Chapter 8, 9, no. The Lord showed his mother the complete universe within his mouth, while she, completely charmed by her son, wanted to look inside the mouth of the Lord just to see how much earth the child had eaten. Now, Mother Yashoda, when shown the universal form, was like, she said, what kind of mystic power has done this, and just, this is my child, I want to feed him. So she wasn't interested even, but she was shown automatically by dint of her topmost Vatsalya Bhav. And Prabhupada then says, by the grace of the Lord, the devotees are able to see everything in the universe within the mouth of the Lord. That's why Narada Muni in the chapter Ideal Family Life, teaching Maharaj Yudhishthira in the 7th canto, the deity of the Lord in the temple, the Lord, is the very basis for the entire cosmic manifestation. So the opportunity to reside in the temple and perform the worship of the Lord, especially the privilege of Brahminical life, that one can touch the body of the Lord and assist the Lord in bathing and dressing, eating like that. Such a facility. It's not ordinary. We could do the same for, like children play with dolls or, dress mannequins in the store window, exalted store window, Saks Fifth Avenue, Lord and Taylor. But are you going to get, is automatic byproduct of doing that going to have complete knowledge of the entirety of creation? No. The Lord and his devotees constitutes the complete knowledge of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and the entire cosmic manifestation. That is the supreme position of devotional service. The very idea of the scientific divisions, now Prabhupada goes on to say Varnashram, and this is such a wonderful, two very good examples, one about Varnashram and one about how to defeat impersonalism. I'm God. Two very good examples. Let's remember them and use them in our lifelong, keep that in our arsenal, our weapon room, our repertoire of preaching. Number one, the very idea of the scientific divisions of the four classes of human society and in the four orders of life is also inquired about herewith on the basis of individual personal quality. And what places one or what rises one higher? That way, if you're born in a Sudra or even a family of complete atheistic non-devotees, how can you rise to the topmost platform of Brahman? Much to the dissatisfaction of the caste, false claimed hereditary caste, so-called Brahmins, by the, especially in 1911 in the place Mindapur, the complete smashing of their idea by the then 37-year-old only Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And there's a very nice book based on his essay, his presentation, Brahmana and Vaishnava, that their so-called antiquated, false idea has ended up rightfully where it belongs, in the dustbin of historical oblivion. Anyone can become Brahmin, and by how? On the basis of individual personal quality. Huh? I'm skipping a sentence or two, but we'll read it to establish the point. The value of such scientific divisions of human society can be ascertained only in terms of the proportionate development of devotional service to the Lord. The four divisions are exactly like the four divisions of one's personal body. This is a very common example. The Brahman is the head, the administrators, Kshatriyas, are the arms, and the Vaishyas are the belly, digesting the food, and the Sudras, the workers, are the legs that carry the whole show. All are required. The parts and parcels are non-different from the body, but by themselves they are only parts. They have to cooperate together. Otherwise, each of their individual purposes is thwarted and frustrated. That is the significance of the whole scientific system. Sum it up in that one example. That is the significance of the whole scientific system of four castes and four social. You can get all diversified and this and that and this the detail, but never forget that 1 + 1 = 2. That's the basic principle. The value of such scientific divisions of human society can be ascertained only in terms of the proportionate development of devotional service to the Lord. Next point. Any person employed in government service, including the president, is a part and parcel of the entire government. Everyone is a government servant, but no one is the government himself. That is the position of all living entities in the government of the Supreme Lord. No one can artificially claim the supreme position of the Lord, but everyone is meant to serve the purpose of the Supreme Whole. Any questions or comments? Verse once again. Also, please describe the inner and outer space of the universe by specific divisions, as well as the character and activities of the great souls, and also the characteristics of the different classifications of the castes and orders of social life. Hare Krishna.
The My question,
What you say, Sonny?
my question is, so we're hearing now Sukadeva Goswami ask these questions, or sorry, Maharaj Pariksha asks these questions to Sukadeva Goswami, and the way, we hear the history of the way it came about was how Maharaj Pariksha was cursed to die in 6 days, and when he received that curse, he just accepted it. Said, okay, this is the will of the Lord. So similarly, Lord Brahma prays and Pate Kankam
Uh-huh.
So it's like, we tolerate whatever is happening, whatever circumstance we're in, and we just continue our devotional service. But also at the same time, how do we determine, maybe this situation is too much, or we shouldn't keep tolerating, and now we should maybe change up the situation?
Well, nothing's ever too much for a real devotee, but it's a question of utility. Like Prabhupada was, he could have kept fighting in Jhansi, but it was just like, it's all, I was thinking it's kind of a remote location. I'm going to start the whole worldwide society of devotees from Jhansi, a sleepy, middle-sized city in Uttar Pradesh, It's like, you read in the Lilamrita, he could have fought, but, now Krishna indicates something different. His same purpose and same intention was later transformed 12 years later, to the 26 Second Avenue, just a few stops away on the F train from us. So, the example of Maharaj Parikshit, the devotees of the Lord are always looking for a signal. The Lord wants a devotee to come back home, back to Godhead, and the devotee understands that back home, back to Godhead is like, that's where I want to go. So I'm cursed to die in 7 days, this is very nice. We just recently, in the person of Kormarupa Prabhu, very great saintly person, did many things in this movement, but most notably and still current is care for cows. So he had stomach cancer and had an operation at first. It was done in Delhi, and it seemed successful. But in a very short period of time, there were undeniable symptoms, and again checked out in Delhi that it's advanced, it's very, very bad. Maybe we could do chemotherapy, radiotherapy, but the chance is not good. And what did he say? This is very, very good news. Bring me back to Vrindavan right now. And devotees attending him and watching him were just amazed how, without any fear, anxiety, regret, trepidation, they were completely joyous and happy. And he just wanted to go back home, back to Godhead, and he expressed that his highest aspiration in life was to assist Gopal Krishna, in herding the Surabi cows. That's all that he wanted. So in that way, if we make our goal, just like Chitraketu is cursed and he becomes the demon Britasura, and he's, due to wrong inflection or mispronunciation, he didn't become the enemy of Indra, he became Indra, who was the enemy of the demon, It was destined, and Indra's seeing that, he's speaking the most exalted, Maha-Bhagavat philosophy coming from his mouth, but he's like a demon. He's just like complete. He says, "You should kill me. Go ahead." And he's like, he already had killed Vishvarupa, and had to go through a severe tribulation to overcome the Brahmahatya, the killing of a Brahmin. Was it the personification of sin, you know, ugly old woman with tuberculosis? Was that the reaction to Vishvarupa? I forget, or anyway. So he was hesitant, you know, but then, and he's saying, and those prayers of Chitraketu as Britasura, that as baby birds wait the mother, as a lover awaits the return of her beloved, as the earth, parched earth, waits for water, then my dear Lord, I yearn for you. So on that basis, you know, there's nothing that can, you know, but a devotee's purpose in this world is for the utmost utility. In Prabhupada, he didn't want his time being wasted. Everything was very purposeful, and he wanted everything to be on the highest platform, first class. He was intense. Hansadutta, in his recollections of Srila Prabhupada, said that if you were always eager to do something, to rise to the challenge, and were like ambitious, you know, to expand Prabhupada's mission, you could have Prabhupada's association very, very nicely. You could easily. But if you weren't on that consciousness, there was like a force field that would keep you away from Prabhupada. You couldn't come close. All right, anything else? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is the build-up to Lord Chaitanya's appearance day. Prabhupada, now the Mayapur festival is ballooned up into a 1-month observance. And if you look at Mayapur TV, they have Kirtan Mela going on, very inspirational, 12 hours online, which corresponds to our daytime, and 12 hours Mayapur's daytime and early evening live over there, and 12 hours around the world. I just looked last night, they jumping time zones, Malaysia to Philippines to Japan, and devotees leading kirtan, and then you know, they had the whole Vrindavan 24-hour kirtan crew, you know, leading the 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 to 10 o'clock slots, and just before Panchatattva, they had Panchatattva, the deities, and they had like all these mridungas and kartals at their feet, and they just like, wow, you know, Lord Chaitanya's associates are gonna pick up all the mridungas and start having a wild kirtan, and it's so inspirational. So it's a very good way to not be glum chum here in New York. Shri Radha Govinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda.